back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25.
Here we go.
Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive.
Well, they certainly took a shot to open this game. I know it backfired with the interception, but no lack of bravado from that sideline at all. And look, they told us before the ball game, they wanted to be a little more dangerous on offense. They wanted to take a few more chances. That opening pass certainly set a tone. Maybe a turnover, but I don't think it'll stop them from trying again the rest of this game.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. So, CD, this defense, they know that they have to be at their very best when they're taking on a team here that's in the midst of a winning streak. It's now stretched over multiple months, not weeks, months.
I think the challenge they put upon themselves is we want to be the guys to end that. Working in their favor, the winning streak on the other side. Sometimes that carries a burden with it because they feel like they have to play perfectly as well. Let's just go out there and get them is the idea.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. He rifles one that's intercepted. Andrew Booth picks it off. And the Vikings are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. So the first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all. And that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Remember last time out they threw the interception on their first drive. Good news, their defense backed them up, so it's still 0-0 here as they begin their second possession.
Yeah, one great way to judge a defense, how do they handle what we call sudden change? When all of a sudden, you know, it goes against their offense and they have to run out in the field and try and put out the fire. Give this one great kudos for getting out there and not letting that interception lead to points. Excellent job by them defensively.
And a 6-yard gain gets them right around the 43. The Vikings at 9-3 here on the year. Well, they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So you know they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
On second down, here's Mitchell. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. This defense for the Packers, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
There's a little bit of lightning talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down.
Certainly not a positive sign if you're the D coordinator and you see your guys give up that space so early in the game. 3rd down, that's when the clamps are supposed to come out, but his ability to create things with his legs makes things difficult.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And he's got it down to the 28. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
He'll drop to throw. Buying time to his left. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And the Packers are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
They'll start on the ground with Strong. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
From the 25 on 2nd down, Rodgers. He's got a man, complete. And he's going to be forced out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 71 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Cook is in. Touchdown, Packers. Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it off.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Adrian Amos with a pick. And into the end zone. It's a pick 6 and a Packer touchdown. Now the extra point try forthcoming. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead.
14, Vikings nothing.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Nwangwu now from his end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
Vikings take over first down 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. Now a dump off here complete. Will go down as a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
22, a 6-yard pickup.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw.
24-yard line.
And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down.
And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big third down coming up.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. They'll try and pick it up with Mitchell. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. 49 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. And that'll be incomplete.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
2nd quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
On the set. Ready.
They'll set up to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
1st down, here's Mitchell. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Taking down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A big play there on the catch and run. And it's going to yield a new set of downs.
And that's a nice job of working his way open down in the red zone. Looked that one in and then made a beeline for the pylon. He didn't quite get there, and you want to give him a little extra for the effort. But instead, he sets his guys up in excellent shape for the 1st and goal.
Flushed out right. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Packers pick it up. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10, 5, and he will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Green Bay touchdown. Now the extra point. And it is now 21-0.
Makes the score Packers 21, Vikings nothing.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Nwangu now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work.
And it's a Packers touchdown. Romeo Doubs, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers continue to pull away here in this first half. Well, you talk about a team coming into an opposing stadium and just taking the life right out of a crowd. That's what we're witnessing here. 27-0, Charles.
And this defense, they've just looked completely unprepared for what's been thrown at them. And you know they're supposed to adjust series to series. That has not happened for them, so I don't think halftime adjustments are going to help a heck of a lot. They are in major trouble unless they figure out something really fast.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
Their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. On the throw led him too much that time. It's incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. Well, there's two sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Carl Lawson in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Give to Cook out of the gun. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
Naturally so. The defense was keyed in on everyone but the back on that play, and it took them an extra second to react when he got the carry. It's still a tough 3rd down to pick up here, but a lot more manageable after an excellent carry on 2nd down.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. He's going to launch this deep for Watson. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Packers. Christian Watson, 53 yards. And the Packers have taken a 5-touchdown lead. Extra point right down the middle. And a rout is on here in this first half.
Packers 35, Vikings nothing.
Out out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line.
Their own 27-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. They'll look to throw now on first down. Finding Williams once more, complete. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
Eluding the pressure right. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they had a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
On the counter, Mitchell. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Back to throw here. And now here is another interception. And the Packers will take over possession here up at the 44. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions, and Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Rashawn Gary charges in there hard and drops him for a loss of 12 from that outside linebacker position. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. That's complete to Dobbs. So the completion good for 7 there. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Tall task ahead of them here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's got his target. It's the tight end, Tyler Higbee. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop him well short.
On now is the Packers punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback.
Their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's got his man on the out route. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
Drops this underneath. It's Mitchell. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Here's second and a yard. They'll drop to throw. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A gain there of 21 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw again. And that's caught one more time by Boyd. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. They'll throw now on the final play. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the 3rd quarter. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, they score here. This one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be at that point, partner, because this team, they were dominant in the first half, continue to be dominant now, and I think they're viewing this as a put-away drive on their way to a lopsided victory.
They run again on first down, Cook. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And his throw here's incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just talking about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
26. 30. Inside.
Now it's Rodgers. And that will be incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. This one angles out of bounds in a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Here we go.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible. This possession is an empty one.
22 yards on the catch and run, a first down. Well, still in the third quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is,
and my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. But to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game. But that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Dalvin Cook with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Packers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So it's a pretty good season he's putting together running the football. That now 10 rushing touchdowns on the year.
And we know this is a passing league, and those numbers throwing the football, they seem to go up and up every year. But there's still something to have a reliable back you can count on in the red zone to bring things home for you. And that's what he's been doing all season long.
So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Packers pick it up. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
26. Back one.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Rodgers. Over the middle here, it's hauled in by Watson. And the Packers are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago, followed it up with another nice one here, and before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
They'll run with Cook. And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. Now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. On the sneak, Rodgers, and he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out, and the Packers take the forced fumble and convert it into 6 points. Point after, right down the middle, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter.
Vikings 3.
So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball. And it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
2 yards, good enough for first.
They got a completion there. That's clearly an example of one side happy, the other side not very happy. Defense, very, hey, take 1 or 2 yards. We're good with that. Offense, you got to expect to get more on the passing play.
Packer pressure, and down he goes. Quay Walker coming in for that outside linebacker spot, and he buries him for a loss of 7.
He only gave them an instant to react. It was a classic case of if you blink, you missed him. Off of the line and to the quarterback in just a couple of seconds. Running back only had a moment to react and attempt to throw a block.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
He'll look to throw. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Can't get away, and he's taken down. Preston Smith in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. McKenzie now to return it. A solid 12-yard return after the 55-yard punt. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles. And, I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the 3rd quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring points in this one. They look awfully confident.
That was so well timed. Just a perfect throw on the slant.
Hit him on the move, didn't he? Now he's going against the grain of the defenders coming over to try and stop him. That allowed for that additional yardage downfield.
Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. They'll try the middle to Cook. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. quick, and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Hey, you block over here.
The throw on target to his receiver, McKenzie. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. So with a 4th and goal looming, we hit the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we'll begin it with a field goal try here. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
At their own 19-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Rolling to his right. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. This is caught. It's Boyd. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Vikings. Tyler Boyd, 68 yards. And the Vikings are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. McKenzie will not return this, and it'll be brought out to the 25.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. How about this? They'll try the option. Left side. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time. Wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10.
At their own 27-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. They'll look to throw here. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. He'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Another connection between the two. This one good for 12 and a first down.
Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now, but as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
And he's got this to Jefferson.
And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. A nice gain of 21 yards. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick 6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the 3rd row.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And now here is another interception. And the Packers are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense will very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
They'll try and wind down some clock with Cook. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They run it again with Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And a most curious way there to burn some clock. That was wild, and at the end of all that, it winds up a safety.
At this point, I think it's a surprise when he isn't close to being sacked on a passing down. The amount of times he's hit the deck today, I think a lot of us are reading safety before they even took the snap. Simply a merciless pass rush every step of the game, and that rush earns a crowning achievement there.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build. And my goodness, another interception. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you watch high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
He hits Dobbs on the crosser. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket, but it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable.
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Well, when they said before the game that they were going to try and execute every second of this contest, I guess that was taken literally, because here they are in the final moments of the fourth, putting another touchdown on the board, Charles, to add to this big lead.
I'm not a big believer in 110%, but it certainly applies here, doesn't it? Because some guys just can't go with less. As long as there's time left on the clock, they're pushing to get to the end zone one more time. They don't really care about what the optics show. They just want to finish the game off the way that they like to play it. Full speed, all out.
So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call.
Come on, set. Gravity line.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for Green Bay, it's a very important win as they move to 9-4 now on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to the Windy City to take on the Bears. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, it's a loss that could have implications on the playoff race as they fall to 9-4. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Indianapolis Colts.
Dollar. Hey, DJ Mosky, let's get it. We the champions here in Los Angeles. We doing numbers. Bringing home victory straight out the huddle. I'm at the plug, introduced to my brothers. My squad superior, ain't none above us. We doing numbers. Gang in the building, we taking it over. Call the promoters. I just put up in this thing with my soldiers. I blew it and I'm still. Last minute, I'ma need me some. Call up Khalifa. Bring the in the. You know I stay with some bad little baby. CGOD, baby, know that's a gang gang. Crazy girls after the game. We doing honest, we going insane. Pouring this. Yeah, homies got me pouring this. We get awards, but we give God the glory. I'm shooting my shot, and most times I be scoring. Do this for my city, I bring on the trophy. Feel like Freddie Mercury, we the champions here in Los Angeles. We doing doing numbers. Bringing home victory straight out the huddle. I'm at the plug, introduced to my brothers. My squad superior, ain't none above us. We doing numbers. Gang in the building, we taking it over.
Feeling like I can't miss. Baby, it's all in the wrist. You really wanna be the boss, it's expensive. Ain't the real champ if you never defend it. Put in that work, I'ma make them remember. I just broke down hella trees, yelling timber. Stand in the line, they put me in the center. It blow they mind when they see how I'm winning. Went back and doubled up, now you in trouble. My all hustle, my diamonds are huddled up. TGOD got this off the muscle. Ask me about my life, man, I love it, I love it. Got so many rings, I need room for another one. Been through the pain, now it ain't no more struggle. My team win the game, put our face on the cover, brother, we the champions.